With inflation on the rise, the cost of living in the U.S. is going up.
That's right, but it's not just food and gas that's getting more expensive. According to AmericanProgress.org, the price of childcare is just over $1,300 a month. Now, that is about 21% of the average household income. In comparison, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends families only spend 7% of their income on childcare. I don't know how that's possible, though.
And this issue is only being made worse by job losses in the industry. According to the National Partnership for Women and Families, the U.S. has lost nearly 500,000 caregiver jobs since the start of the pandemic. Jocelyn Frye joins us now. She's the president of the National Partnership for Women and Families. Jocelyn, thanks for joining us. The number of people working in the U.S. is growing every month, and hiring numbers are still up. Can you explain to us why, despite a good job market, the cost of child and elder care is forcing so many people, mainly women, not to work?
Well, I think you touched on really some of the drivers at the top of this segment. One issue is simply the cost of childcare and elder care that is increasing when you have the job loss that is happening, the decrease in caregivers who are actually doing the work. That combined with the fact that many families don't have access to supports like child tax credit or paid family leave, sort of the supports necessary to retain income while doing care, means that folks have to leave the workforce as the only solution to making sure that their families are cared for.
You know, it's so interesting talking about this because so many people thought that part of the impact of the work from home revolution that happened over COVID was that maybe it would become easier for families, right? Not just mothers. But, you know, when you work from home, it's just the same as working in your office. You really need to focus and you're not also doing childcare. So in some ways, I wonder if it's worsened the problem because before we were having this conversation, we were expecting corporations to maybe step up and think about on-site childcare and other ways that they could help their workers. And now it's almost as if they feel off the hook for those portions. What do you think about that? Where's that conversation going?
I think you're right. I mean, I think the pandemic really highlighted the problem, but we haven't understood what the solution is. The solution is not simply to have everybody go home and provide care and try to work at the same time. That actually doesn't work. What we need to do is make sure that we are investing in the care supports that families need, things like national paid family leave, childcare, home care. Those are the policies that we need to have in place to ensure that people can make sure their families are cared for, can make sure that their loved ones are safe, but at the same time be responsible, productive workers. And you have to have policies as opposed to just hoping that employers will do that on their own.
Yeah.
And women parents, they're left with some tough choices. What are some of those broader economic impacts of more women either choosing to leave the workforce or stay in the workforce?
Well, I think what we have to remember is that families increasingly are relying on women's income to make ends meet. Moms are 2/3 of breadwinners, and that's even higher when you're looking at larger numbers of women of color. For Black women, 80% of Black moms are either co-primary or sole breadwinners in their families. So you can't create a system where all those women simply leave the workforce and not have economic consequences. We also know that moms experience a serious pay gap. Moms earn 75 cents compared to fathers, and it's even sharper for women of color who are moms, less than 50 cents for some of them, for Latina moms. So the economic consequences are extraordinary. And it is a reminder why we need investments and policies that actually will make things easier for families.
Yeah, it's a frustrating set of headwinds that a lot of these families and mothers are facing. Jocelyn Frye, president of the National Partnership for Women and Families, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.